I'm going to hand over our presentation tonight to Kelly Fonner. Thank you again for coming and talking to us tonight about literacy.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm glad to see everybody. Thanks for joining us. It'll be a quick hour, so hopefully it'll keep you as busy as the snow's coming down. As Kathy said, my name's Kelly Fonner, and I'm a teacher, right? That's my background. I'm a teacher, and I'm still a teacher. I'm really thrilled to continue to be an online teacher with kids with significant challenges. Almost all of my career in teaching and the various jobs I've had, I've worked with kids with complex learning needs that typically involve physical access and communication access. So when they asked about doing this topic, at first I thought I was laughing earlier because at first I was just talking about emergent learning, but then I looked at, oh, it's the whole game. So it's hard not to be talking about the area of literacy without mentioning several of the agencies within the United States that are really involved in this process. And from early on, I got involved with work and working with people from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So if you are not yet familiar with UNC and the Center for Literacy and Disability Studies, we'll give you all the links here in the slide deck. The links are all at the end of the deck as well. And hopefully this presentation, there's no way in 1 hour to cover literacy for all students with significant disabilities, but to seed you with ideas across the reading and writing strategies and places to go to get more information. So definitely this is one with Dr. Karen Erickson and her team of people that have many projects that fall into this area of literacy. Another source, and when you're thinking about not just necessarily literacy, but how do you take a look at some of the issues that our students face who have significant challenges? One of the resources that I use a lot is the Buchelman and Miranda, or now it's the Buchelman and Janice Light book, where we look at what are some of the barriers. And although the book is written, at the angle of augmentative and alternative communication, I really look at it across areas of assistive technology. So when I'm in consulting to a school system, or I have a particular student that I'm working with, or an organization or agency, what's going on with literacy and literacy instruction? What is the policy on literacy with students that have the most significant needs? What's the common practice? And with that, those things are influenced by attitude. And I'm going to kind of give you a letter E mantra later on here about attitude around literacy and building your knowledge. Literacy has changed, especially in this group of students with significant disabilities. In the last 5 years, there's been a huge turnaround in what we do and don't do in our practice. And that's something that we really need to keep up on. It's not just about the assistive technology tools and the literacy apps and those things. It's also about the strategies. So you'll see here in this slide deck, slides that are about strategies, slides that are about tools, slides that combine the two of them together. And I'm really grateful to the families that allow me to share my students with you, that I've got clips from my online teaching, because I'm not just telling you about it, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it every day, and working with people. I just had a team meeting today on one of my 6th graders that we were looking at next steps in literacy. So skill building isn't just about our students, it's about us. And I think that part of that skill building is mindset, that mindset of all children can learn. And I know that we talk about empowerment and we talk about perceptions, but it truly is, they're going to learn, but they might not all learn the same way on the same day. So you really need in literacy to be prepared for that multimodal, multiple learning style approach to what you're doing. This is my new mantra. One of my colleagues, Donna McNair, who is a teacher extraordinaire in Minnesota, primarily a teacher of students with vision impairment. She's also an O&M instructor, but she works with some of the children with the most complex disabilities, kids who are deafblind, babies that are deafblind, and getting people along the literacy path. And so we talk about the E's: expect, put out effort, engage. We know that for those of you that do things with Universal Design for Learning, engagement is one of the three big areas that we talk about in Universal Design. Of course, we're here to educate, evaluate, and exhibit what kids have learned and used. So I'm kind of framing this hour in the E's. And so we'll kind of go along with that. And that also, that idea of expect, part of our expectations is what I had mentioned earlier. Expect that you're going to be teaching kids that aren't just all in one level of learning. You have students that are at emergent levels, and you hear emergent now thrown around a lot. Emergent reading, emergent writing, emergent communicators. Now we're really talking about all those kids. It doesn't matter what age student. Kathy's working with young adults and adults that are at emergent levels. I have places that I consult to in Michigan where they, I don't know, intermix funds and still have 21 through 26-year-olds that are attending school-based classes and vocational-based classes that are provided by the school system. And we have emergent students in that group, emergent young people who are emerging in the areas of literacy for lots of different reasons. But just because you're a student that might be identified with some significant disability doesn't mean that you're emergent. We have a lot of kids that have splinter skills. They are those early learners. You know, they've got some basic concepts of print, but they don't have all the skills to get them to the levels of transitional readers, where they're starting to read and reread text and read portions of text on their own and starting to follow those language structures in reading and writing. And then, of course, many of us have conventional readers who are, you know, in that area of student with significant disabilities, maybe because of vision issues, maybe because of physical issues, but they've gone through the path of becoming a conventional reader. And we truly are looking at every student being on this pathway to conventional reading. There is nobody, I want to say this right now, there is nobody that is below emergent. You come out as emergent reader. It doesn't matter what challenges you have. You are an emergent communicator. You are an emergent reader. So come along with me on that ride. One of the great resources that was put out in 2020 was the book from Karen and David, so the Comprehensive Literacy for All. And you hear a lot about this. There are over 4,000 people on the Facebook group that I've got listed down here at the bottom. I've got at the end of this slide deck the 10 success factors that they talk about. But that we need to teach kids who are at the emergent level, both in reading and writing, skillfully, giving them skills to build on. And we need to build to conventional literacy skills, but we know we need to do that with adaptations. And so when you look at this area of literacy and all the other things you might know about assistive technologies, they fit in here. Literacy is the umbrella that makes the technologies functional, right? One of the purpose that we have, many of the assistive technologies that we have are to build literacy and expressive skills. And expressive communication isn't just about verbal output. You know, it's about expressive written output too. So part of the book, I find the book very helpful. I think I'm on my second read through it with Eliza Wern's group. and responding to her questions and posts. And so I think there's a lot in there that helps you. It's very practical. It's not just, it lays the foundation in the first 2 chapters, but then the rest of the book really goes and gives you detailed practices and things that you can go and use, activities that engage and motivate your students, that you can find out more about some of these strategies when people have presentations that they're doing at local events or at statewide events, and things that are free, things that might be paid for. So I just want to give you that part of, you know, expect that students are going to learn. You're going to see some videos from, I think you see here twice now. This is a student that I have who has Rett syndrome. She's a 6th grader. I met her when she was a 3rd grader. And at that time, the people who were working with her at the school were very focused on access. Would she eye gaze to 4 items? That was it. And we now, 3 years later, she's using a 48 location system through partner scanning. She's using a Tobii eye gaze system with 32 items on it, I think we're at now. And she has gone from doing no math, well, name your colors and name your letter, name your colors, name your shapes, for like 4 years at school, to she's doing 3-digit math now. So she's doing multiplication, 3-digit numerals, and in literacy, she is spelling. She's using spelling as a means, as a backup to communication. So all of our efforts that we're doing literacy-wise are helping her with her expressive communication strategies as well. And so I think that expectation piece is huge. So here's just a little bit of, I'm going to get this started and then I'm going to pause it and then orient you to my crazy world of virtual teaching.
New.
We'll do something new. Would you like to do a new writing? Or something new with letters? All right, so let me pause it here. Lovely look on my face. It's the reality of the situation. My screens are the 2 screens on the right. So she's got a big image of me in her home. And then the lower right is my document camera. So I've got a document camera that's like right here at my side that I'm either projecting low tech or high tech communication systems while I'm chatting with my students. So I'm doing modeling that way. On the left side, 2 screens from her home. What I'm seeing straight through Zoom is on the top. And then the bottom is they set up a cell phone from the side. So you can kind of get and see everything that's going on, from an eye gaze system that's right in front of her. Her mom's holding the low tech system. She's got a big screen right above the eye gaze system. And then kind of what mom monitors everything off of is over on to the left. All right. So that just gives you a little bit of what's happening visually here in front of you. We're working from systematic phonics. This is listed in the resources at the end. There are different, I know people that work with Jolly Phonics, people that work with Karen Erickson's Making Words Phonics within the Retopia curriculum. We're using kind of the Making Words original author, Patricia Cunningham's work, and then we have 2 of us that are doing literacy with her throughout the week. I didn't mean to go back to the beginning, sorry. I got a big letter. I'll share this. A letter I. Share screen. I also have a copy of her alternative letter I, and I made the letter I in pink because your letter I is in pink.
IJKLMN.
Okay.
Yes.
She's
The
touching
next
it.
letter,
EFGH
is a consonant, letter G.
EFGH. The letter G.
So what we're doing is we are pulling the letters out that are a part
G.
of making words activities.
And Mama said G for G.
It gives you an opportunity
Next
to
letter,
review.
go back. IJKLMN. N. Letter N.
All right, then that's what we're
And
going to
it's
get
also
letters
a
out.
blue, it's a consonant, so think the sound.
And then we start to make words.
Is.
Let's look at our choices, Kriti.
Your name is Creedy. Is.
And I'm not making this up as I
Do you
go,
have a
right?
choice?
I'm following the
To
lesson
take
plan.
the first step before we scan.
And I
Need
think
another
many of us
letter
in
here.
special education aren't used to that. But there are lots of lesson plans to follow when it comes to literacy. You do not have to fly by the seat of your pants.
We're going to use this as our. There you go.
All right. What letter goes there? Is.
Oh,
I.
I. She says S.
All right. So we're going to add that word to our list. We have the word is. There's.
So in making words activities, you are systematically putting letters together to make a word. We'll take an S away, we'll add an N. So students are seeing that relationship. And we're using whatever type of high-tech and low-tech assistive technology we are. You know, she's eye-gazing to magnetic letters. She's saying the letters from her AAC system. And then she also has an alternative pencil that we're modeling spelling the words from those formats. And so I think that it might not go as quickly as a making words activity in a kindergarten and first grade class, but it moves. And then of course, the thing that we're always working with our students that have significant challenges are health and well-being. And when they need to get up and walk around, you know, and we check the zones. How are you doing? Are you in the red zone or the blue zone or the yellow or the green? And what do you need before we do the next word? So it might take us a little bit longer to get through some of the lessons, but we get through them and she is learning from them, right? And the people around her are learning how they can pattern instruction.